Welcome to Hate to Weight, where two lifelong dieters talk about their current struggles with weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We are not doctors. We don't play them on TV or on this podcast. Join our journey because we're all in this together.
Hello, Emily.
Hello, John. How are you?
I am doing well. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. Let me rephrase that. I'm as sore as a stubbed toe.
You're sore.
Yeah, because yesterday I had to go out and do a recording, so I was walking. I did more walking than I normally do. I got like 2,300 steps in yesterday in a day, which is huge for me.
Wow.
So, I woke up this morning and I was like, I was trying to put weight on my knees, and it was just like so tough. And so what happens is when you're in pain like this, it just makes you want to not do something. And for me right now, I'm trying to push forward and try to get at least more steps in. And then the other thing is I'm all swole up, I guess, from, I don't know, the knees and everything are all swollen. So when I got on the scale this morning, I was a little disappointed. We'll get into that later, but I think it's just because everything's swelled up. I think I'm retaining fluid.
Oh, no. Have you been taking your whooshy pill?
I didn't take it this morning because I knew I'll take it right after we get done here.
Yeah, for those who are new, so John has a whooshy pill that he's supposed to be taking.
It's a diuretic. So you take it.
We call it the whooshy pill. I'm sorry, because that's what it does.
It's a diuretic. So I take it, and then like in a half an hour, I have to pee every 15 minutes. And it's not like, I think I have to pee, I can hold it. It's like, I have to pee now. So it's like you have to go immediately. And that lasts for, sometimes, it's weird. It has no rhyme or reason. Sometimes it'll last like 2 hours. Sometimes it'll last 4. Sometimes it'll last all day. It's like crazy. That pill has a mind of its own. And you're right. I didn't take it yesterday because I had to go record. So I didn't take it yesterday. I didn't take it today. So of course I'm swollen.
You're a slave to that pill.
I'm a slave to that pill.
Yeah.
I'll take it today. And then, holy cow. Well, I have a new studio upstairs. I started to tell you earlier in the pre-show. And the great thing about the one upstairs is it's like 2 steps to the bathroom. And I mean, it's like get up, 2 steps, turn around. There's the toilet. So it's fantastic for the whooshy pill part.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be upstairs and see some light, like actually see out. I like that. So it helps with the depression, the seasonal depression disorder.
Seasonal affective disorder.
That's it. That thing. There.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing that I use a happy light for every morning. And I skipped it yesterday and I was a wreck. Oh my gosh. I was so, well, it's pre-Shark Week. So for our new listeners, this is what we call, Shark Week is what we call the lovely week once a month that women of a certain age, well, I don't know if a certain age, but like of many ages go through our periods. We talk about our periods. Yes. John plays the shark music. It is Shark Week for obvious reasons. Anyway, I become a shark. Sharks like blood. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure everybody gets what Shark Week is, so I never have to explain it again, and I can keep using the euphemism, like the happy little like.
Exactly.
Words are scary. Anyway, I have pre-Shark Week, and so skipping my happy light yesterday was just a wreck. And then, of course, like Mark brings up like, hey, remember that friend that you had a really bad falling out with? You know, maybe it's time to reach out again. And I'm like, I can't. How dare you bring that up now? Like, why? Out of nowhere. And then my mom called, and my mom is bipolar, and she is manic right now. So it's kind of like, I realized this because I put her on speakerphone and I was driving around and I realized I didn't have to say a thing. It was like a podcast that somebody had scrambled everything all up. And as a podcast editor, I'm trying to put together different stories. And this is, if you were in our pre-show on our Facebook Live, you heard about the big family story of apparently we found out that my great aunt had a one-night stand with P.T. Barnum. And this is like the big news that everyone's going nuts over. So yeah. So I got to hear all about that for about 40 minutes. So yesterday wasn't a fun day. And actually, and I'm sorry to like turn the whole thing on me, but I just kind of realized this before we were recording. I didn't go to food.
Whoa.
Yeah. I didn't know what to go to. I kind of did that John Travolta gif of like, oh, what do I do now? Just looking around kind of.
Yeah.
That was kind of me. I'm just like, this is a bad day. Like, what do I do? And I just kind of took a shower and went to bed. And I was like, no, I'm just going to reset. I'm going to reset for the day. I'm done.
It was funny yesterday. I'm really doing my best to do intermittent fasting, and I'm really doing my best to do one meal a day. But going out to record, I had to go record at a client's office, kind of threw everything off. So I knew that I was going to be in the office when the window opened up. So I said, well, let me eat something small. And I did. And then I came back here and I had a lot of stuff to do and I was running around and I forgot to eat. So I had like this really small thing at like 9 o'clock in the morning and I didn't eat for the rest of the day. And my stomach was growling. I felt nauseous. I felt lightheaded. And I said, I got to get something to eat. So I did. And of course, there's nothing in this house made. That's a story. I'll get to that in a minute. So what I did was I just jumped in the car because it was like 11 o'clock at night and right down the road is at Wendy's. So I went and got chili because I figured that's about the best thing I could eat for right before bed. The best thing to eat is chili. What I was trying not to do is eat a lot of carbs.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not even sure how many carbs are in Wendy's chili, but it's better than a sandwich.
Yes, I agree. And it's delicious.
Yeah. So I just, went there, got the chili, came back, had the chili, and then went to bed like a warm, sleepy bear. and because, I have, if I try to fast for too long, it makes me kind of ill. Like I don't know if it's my blood sugar or whatever, if I get all jittery.
What are you trying to do? Your intermittent fasting schedule?
Yeah, I'm trying to do intermittent fasting, but I'm trying to do one meal a day.
So how many hours is that? How many hours are you fasting for that?
Probably 22, 20.
Oh my gosh. No,
Yeah.
I won't even do 22. No.
20.
And I love fasting. I actually love the way I feel when I'm fasting. And like 22 I've done, but it's not something I want to do on a regular basis right now.
Yeah, it's because of, I'm so insulin resistant. I'm trying to get that down and I'm trying not to eat carbs. So maybe I needed carbs. So I don't know. I don't know what it was yesterday. Last night, I ate late and then I did everything wrong yesterday. In a way, I did everything wrong as far as intermittent fasting. So then I got up this morning, I got on the scale and I said, But the thing that I didn't do is freak out. Like I'm not freaking out anymore. And I'm not afraid to come down here and talk about it. In other words, like before, I'd be saying, oh, how can I get out of this show today? What lie can I make up so I don't have to record?
There was a lot of shame before.
Yeah, a lot of shame. So there's not as much, there's no real shame because
I'm not even sorry. Say it, John.
I'm not even sorry. Hold on, I'm not even sorry. Yeah, I'm not even sorry. I mean, I could have tried to sleep last night and then woke up this morning and then not felt well. I woke up this morning, it was fine. If I didn't sleep, how would I felt today? So, you know what? Just go grab something to eat.
Maybe that was it. We just needed a warm winter's nap to reset ourselves.
And so let's talk about embarrassing stories. So, of course, when you're an older gentleman, a lot of us have sleep apnea, which is where you snore constantly and your air cuts off and then you stop breathing, which is really, really bad for your heart. Mm-hmm. So I've had a CPAP for, 12 years now, and I can't sleep without it. But the thing is, the mask breaks, and then I have to rig it so I can get it around my face because you can't buy a stupid mask without a prescription. Who needs a prescription for a mask? It's a mask.
What do they put in it? Do they put any
nothing?
Weird...
It's a mask that goes over your nose. It has a hose going to it. And it has a strap that goes around your head. It's ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. You know what? I took a picture of me with my brand new mask because I just bought one.
Yeah.
So I'll put it in the Facebook group with me with this stupid mask on. Like, hey, guess what? I got a new mask. So basically what I do is I would tie this thing on my head every night because I never would. I would keep saying, I got to call the doctor. Oh, I got to call the doctor. When would I remember? When I'd go to bed and have to tie this thing on my head. So the other day, I guess I was talking to somebody about it. And lo and behold, there was a place called cpap.com that you could go to. And it was $40. And they said, hey, if you give us your doctor's name and telephone number, we'll call and get a prescription. I said, let's try it. Sure enough, one day, got a prescription. Next day, shipped it. Next day, it was here.
What is it? cpap.com?
Yeah, cpap.com.
CPAP.com. We'll have that link in the show notes.
Oh, there you go. We'll have the
There
link
we
in
go.
the show notes.
We'll put it in there. So if you're in your podcast app and you're listening to us in there.
You can go there for your sleep apnea needs, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. They're not a sponsor, but I just want you to be able to find the show notes. So anything else we talk about, you can go and find those. That's in your podcast app. If you swipe left, right, up, click that I button for information, it's right in there. You'll find it.
Absolutely. So I had that on last night, and I guess when you tie it around your head, it doesn't work as well. Like maybe it leaks. But like last night, I've had it on for the first time, and it was like someone hit me with a sledgehammer. I laid down and woke up this morning at like 7 o'clock. Like, where am I? I've never slept that long without waking. I can't remember the last time I slept 7 straight hours.
That has to be so good for you.
I woke up. I had a little spring in my step, so I put my foot on the floor. It was like, oh, the knee, the back of the knee. And then the other thing that's nice about having the studio upstairs is, I can get to work right away. Because like a lot of times I'm a lollygagger, believe it or not. I lollygag upstairs, and then finally, by the time I get down here, it's late. Now I get up. If I'm going to lollygag, I sit down and I'm lollygagging while I'm doing some work right by the upstairs studio. So that's a lot of fun.
I love it. Annette in the chat room says, one bad day doesn't make a bad week. Your attitude towards this is clear to see.
Yeah, it is. And then the other thing is that I started to, we were talking about how to hate to cook.
Yeah.
I'm really back on the hate to cook thing. Because I bought chicken the other day, and I put it in the Instapot with a bunch of stuff. When it came out, and listen, I'll just about eat anything. This was hot garbage. Like I took a bite out of it. I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. I couldn't eat. I had to throw it all out. It was overspiced. It was too hot. I think it burnt the skin off the roof of my mouth. And it wasn't temperature hot. It was spicy hot. I guess I put too much cayenne pepper in and too much hot sauce. I tried to make it a little bit bold. I took a bold move. And then I'm going to have to cut that in half. But it basically was going to be like a spicy chicken, I guess, that I could take out and put on sandwiches or in salads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No. Way too hot. I broke out in a sweat. It was so hot. It was crazy. So, yeah, no more of that. I got to figure out how to cook. I can't be that hard. Why is it that hard?
Out there. You got to start listening to podcasts about that.
I mean, I followed a recipe. All right, maybe I didn't follow it 100%. I was like, oh, you know what? I want a little spicier. So maybe instead of a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper, I'll go a half. That was a bad idea. I guess there's a lot of heat in cayenne pepper. What do I know? The Mexican chicken soup, yes, I like that. I tried something different. I tried to go with a little bit more spice. That's basically what it was. I ruined cheese, chicken broth. What was the other thing? Oh, and salsa. Ruined it all. Had to throw it out.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then today or tomorrow, I got groceries in yesterday. So today or tomorrow, I'm going to hard boil the eggs and do all the pre-cooking.
We did Instacart for the first time this week.
What's Instacart?
It's where they shop for you.
Oh, what'd you think?
It was really nice to shop in bed.
Yes.
And I was also like half working at the same time. And I kept telling I don't know why Mark is so against it. He feels like, I think it's actually the social aspect of shopping. Like this is the most social engagement now that he works from home of like going out to a store and having to interact with like two people. And I think that's why he's so sad. If we started shopping online, that would mean we would have no excuse to go out at this point. So I don't know what that is, but
grocery shop together?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Yeah. We have like the big once a week grocery shop where we shop together. And then if we need things throughout the week, we'll go and get those as needed.
Wow.
But I know. I'm not like all for it. I think Mark is always worried about forgetting something. So he kind of needs me, his second brain, to be there to make sure that like we actually get everything on the list. And I like remind him to look at the list and also to stop him from impulse buying. If I'm not there, he'll go in the third aisle of Aldi. I feel like every Aldi has a third aisle that it's just seasonal stuff you didn't know you need, like foot baths. Nobody needs a foot bath.
It's not food. It's
No, it's the stuff. It's like the pet pillows and the slippers that are only $8. And I'm like, no, stop going in this aisle. The other thing is we bought stuff from this aisle, cooking stuff, and it's kind of crappy after a year. It's not terrible, but after 2 or 3 years,
It's not the best quality.
it's not the best quality. So you go back to Aldi and you see the same pan that's like broken and you're just like, oh, good, another $8 pan. What's the harm in replacing it? And I'm like, I don't think this aisle is very healthy for us, Mark. I don't think we make good decisions in this aisle. So Instacart saved us. He was actually kind of sad that there was no Instacart third Aldi aisle.
Oh, well, so, okay. So I think the third aisle is like the adult toy section.
Well, if you say adult toy, that's
Well, okay,
a whole
not
different
that.
meaning.
This isn't Sex with Emily. Not that kind of adult toy. It's just like, when you were a kid, you always ran to the toy aisle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is like adult playthings don't work.
No.
Toys don't work.
Adult just doesn't work. I don't know.
The toy aisle.
Big kid toys.
Okay, there we go. Big kid toys. It's not too
'Cause
creepy.
that is essentially my husband.
Okay, there we go. I love shopping by phone because just the same thing. What doesn't happen when you're in impulse shopping on your phone? 4 containers of tapioca pudding don't fall into the cart along with
No.
a box of ice cream sandwiches.
No, and we had a lot of control. We actually picked our meals that we wanted. I wrote them down on a piece of paper. We look at them as we decide to order out again. And that has been our break.
So-
But we did make them in the beginning of the week. But like your Instapot thing with the chicken, we used sous vide. And we sous vide cooked a bunch of chicken, figuring we're going to put it in a bunch of recipes. After the second day, I didn't want that chicken anymore. I was like, I'm done with that chicken. So now we're trying to find a balance of the perfect amount of chicken to buy, freeze, sous vide, use for the week. Like, this is weirdly our new goal. Is finding the perfect chicken
Did you have it delivered or did you go pick it up?
delivered.
Oh, see, that's the best. The best is having it delivered. So the other thing I did was I bought a half a chicken. I'm not sorry. I bought a rotisserie chicken. So what I did with the rotisserie chicken was I cut it in half and I put both halves in the freezer. It was stupid, but I figured I would take it out later in the week and then let it thaw out and then I could eat that. But I put it right in the freezer so it wouldn't go bad. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying to learn how to, what to do and how to make things and make it easier. Because the hardest part is when I'm hungry, I want to eat now. And there's no time to cook when I'm hungry. So that's my biggest thing. I want to pre-cook everything and be able to just warm it up, microwave it, and be done with it. And then you go to Facebook and they have all these things where, you can take a muffin pan and you take sausage and you put the sausage and you put it in the pan and you make it like a crust. Then you bake that first and you crack an egg in it. And then you put in some tomatoes and a little bit of cheese and some parsley or whatever. And then you bake it again. And then you pop these things out and it's like a little tiny breakfast muffin.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
It does sound delicious, right?
I had those little mug muffins, the packets that you would crack an egg into and add some water and mix it up and stick it in the microwave and it would make a muffin.
You know what? Microwave eggs are not that good.
No, they're not. They're not.
That was the first time because I bought a thing where you crack 2 eggs and mix them up right in there and you put it in for 2 minutes and it would come out as this yellow puff thing.
It was something.
Yeah. And I put cheese on it and salsa on it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not a fan of the egg. I like the other stuff.
It's good in a sandwich if you could because at least the container that I had, it was kind of like a ceramic dish for the eggs and you would scramble it up and put it in there and then it would give you the perfect size to stick on an English muffin and add some cheese to and some sauce. Like that worked out.
Yeah, I was thinking about the egg ring. Did you ever see the rings they put in? You crack an egg in there and then you heat it up and then you put a lid over it with some water in it and it kind of steams up and gives you the egg like you get in an Egg McMuffin.
Mm-hmm.
Down there, I like those, but I don't know how long they would last. I got to get guess Amazon's coming over again. I guess I'm going to be getting me some egg rings. Let's see how that works out. You know what it is? I quit. Instead of going and saying, you know what? I think what I'll do is, when I made something and I messed it up, I'm not making that again. Instead of just doing it, I said, okay, well, that's not how to make that. let me try again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess when I make something that doesn't work out, I'm like, well, I'm never doing that again. The same thing with like the chili. I've never made chili before that I could actually eat afterwards. Oh, I would eat it, but it was horrible. It was,
I think we all have that food that like we can't cook ourselves.
yeah.
I think we all have that. So what is yours? I want to know our listeners' foods. Like, what are the foods that you can't cook yourself? Also, yeah, what are more of yours, John? Because mine is salad.
You can't make a salad?
I hate when I make my own salad. I don't want to
Really?
eat it. I don't. I will look at it. All the ingredients look great, and I put it together, and I start eating it, and I'm like, it's fine. It's fine at best. That's really what my salads are. They're fine.
Well, one of the things about salad is I don't use lettuce anymore. I just use baby spinach.
Mhm.
So I go with that. And then I have everything else cut up, the cucumber, the green pepper, the mushrooms, and I throw all that raw mushrooms. I throw that in there. And then if there's chicken, then I put some chicken in there and you put the salad dressing in. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. And I also make a pretty good sandwich. The things I make the best are the things I'm not really supposed to eat. Like I make a mean mashed potato. You know, my Instapot mashed potatoes are on point. Or could they be on fleek? I don't know. Are we saying on fleek anymore?
I never felt comfortable saying it when it was cool, and I think because it's not cool anymore, I still don't feel comfortable saying it. So on fleek will never be a thing for me. Because also my eyebrows are never on fleek; they're blonde. I would have to.
Yeah, first of all, my eyebrows are all puffy and hairs go every different way, and that'll stop in about 2 weeks when Sam gets here. When she gets here with her tweezers, she'll put my eyebrows back on fleek again. But the skin around them will be all puffy.
Oh my goodness. Annette in the chat room, she loves cooking. She finds it therapeutic, and she's trying to meal plan for both of us.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Annette.
Thank you, Annette. I appreciate that.
Well, I will say doing that meal plan was nice because we had actually in the beginning of the year too, and I set a reminder for next year to do this because it worked out really well. We went through our pantry and got rid of all the expired stuff because it was easy enough to pull the jars out and look at the year and be like, oh, 19, buy. And very few things were, we were worried about expiring soon. So it was a really good time to do that. So we kind of had a good stock of our kitchen too. I feel like if somebody is starting dieting, I think a really good first step for them would be go through your kitchen. First of all, get rid of everything that you're not supposed to have and also everything that's expired too, because you'd be surprised what's hanging out in the back of your your pantry.
So this week, I'm tasking myself to make chia seed pudding because I have a whole thing of chia seed that I've never opened. Chia seeds don't go bad, do you? Seeds don't go bad, do they?
They may have grown into a chia.
But maybe there is a chia. I open it up and chia.
Chia.
They must be the seeds that they put on that. That must be the seeds that they. Why is it now that I just put 2 and 2 together and got chicken?
John, you're so precious.
2 plus 2 equals chia. I just now put that together. Oh my goodness.
One of our members in our group, Teresa, she is growing a chia Bob Ross head. I'm watching on Instagram.
Goodness.
It's fascinating. I've had a chia pet. It did not grow as well as her chia Bob Ross.
Oh, that's got to be amazing. The green-headed Bob Ross.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So, anything else? I think that's basically it for me. Anything else going on in your week?
Well, another tip that I started doing, you were talking about going to Chile when you were hungry, and I bought a regular sized tub of cottage cheese because I noticed my snacking had been getting a little ridiculous because when I snack, if I still am doing the 6-hour eating window and I'm snacking during that 6 hours, the scale won't move. I won't be losing weight. And I feel like crap. It really doesn't feel good for me to have my stomach full all the time, even during my eating window when I can. So on days where I notice myself snacking, I've lowered my eating window to 4 hours just so I can stop and so I can go to bed without that heavy feeling. And then days that I can kind of stop myself from that snacking. And again, we got rid of a bunch of food, including all the chocolate we had gotten for Christmas, except the really good stuff. Because, you don't throw out Ferrero Rocher. You just don't.
No.
That is a sin. But we got rid of the crackles and the Hershey's and all that.
I consider that good stuff. What do I know?
Well, if it gives my husband heartburn and it makes me feel like a heavy whale, like and it revs the kids up,
Yeah.
let's just get that out of here and keep the good stuff for every now and then. So we did that, but I also got that big tub of cottage cheese. So now when I want a snack, instead of snacking on anything or before I start looking for the snacks, I get a spoon. And just because I'm the only one in the house who likes cottage cheese, I don't get grossed out doing this. I get a spoon out of the drawer, go to my cottage cheese tub, I take a few spoonfuls of cottage cheese until I'm satisfied, until I'm like, I don't want a snack anymore. Cottage cheese is fine. And then I put it back. And it's not like tormenting me or anything. I like cottage cheese. And I actually got that idea from Bonnie Frank because she posted this snack that I think I was talking about 2 weeks ago of like the cottage cheese, the pears, some cinnamon, some chia seed. I said chia seeds, I think. Chia seeds and flaxseed. And I'm like, I can't just come up with those snacks. If I want a snack, if I want something to munch on, I'm tired of going to the crap and wondering why I feel like crap. So yeah, that's been my little hack this week. It's just cottage cheese in the fridge because at least that's protein. It's not crap.
And I forgot to say this. The one meal a day, what I did was I moved my window like 3 o'clock. So I wouldn't eat until 3 o'clock. So I would have a meal at 3 o'clock and that would hold me over. Like I could hang on until 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then 3 o'clock I would eat and I would feel fine. And then at the end of the day, when I went to go to bed, I wasn't really, really hungry. So I put it like almost right in the middle of the day. And I would have that one meal. And that was working. But then when I threw everything off yesterday by eating a little bit and then coming home and forgetting about eating again, I just threw everything off. So I haven't eaten yet today. Is that true? That is true. So I'll get back into that today. Annette, come on now. I'm trying to make chia seed pudding. She says, I've seen people talking about chia seed pudding. Chia seeds and coconut milk left overnight in the fridge apparently looks like frog spawn. You're ruining chia seed pudding for me.
Just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Don't look at it. Don't look at it while you eat it.
Ooh, celery stalks with soft cream cheese. Great snack. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's just a matter of having it in the house and remembering that it's there. That's a big thing for me, is remembering that cottage cheese is there. Maybe I have to put a Post-it note on my usual snack corner of, you have cottage cheese.
Right.
And it sounds like it's like I have to treat myself like a toddler sometimes. I'm like, no, that's not a good choice.
Yeah, because there's no one around here to tell me no.
Yeah. That's the other thing, is I'm kind of in charge of my family's nutrition too. So I have to try to set a really good example. I don't want to, but I have to try at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm just trying to do my best and and the other thing is to try to get off the fast food, because since I'm eating one meal a day, I can almost justify it. Well, it's only one meal. How many calories can it be? Because why? Because I hate to cook.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's why I like intermittent fasting so much as well, is because it cuts down on my cooking. But at the same time, because I've also heard a lot of people ask, and I heard this over the holidays when I was asked, what were you doing? What are you doing because you've lost weight? And I said intermittent fasting. And when I explain it, of course, people say, oh, so you're just skipping a meal. And they think it's something to worry about with calorie intake. And I want to reassure them. And they're watching me as I'm shoving like cheese and crackers in my face. Like, I promise you, I am getting my recommended number of calories that I should be getting in that little 6 or 4 hour window. I promise you that. But it's just funny. You have to explain that stuff to people.
Yeah. Well, that's again, I go back to people just don't understand. And then you said the other day, you have to explain to them. And it's like, why are you even explaining? Because even if you explain to them, they don't get it. And you're wasting your breath. So if they go, you're skipping a meal, I go, yeah, that's what I'm doing, skipping a meal. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's just kind of like, yeah, I guess. And then if they have more questions, and I always want to I don't know if I want to overcorrect or not, but I want to correct them to be like, well, it's more than just skipping a meal, because some people think they're skipping meals and they're still getting calories when, it's not an official meal and that's not really fasting. Oh.
So when people say to me, when, I say I'm intermittent fasting, oh, that's not good for you. Really? Why is that? Well, you have to eat. I said, okay, let's say we go back 100 years and people didn't have food readily available. Maybe they had to go out and hit a squirrel in the head with a rock and then cook that squirrel. And then they couldn't find another squirrel for 2 days. Did they die? No, they didn't die. It's not that it's bad for you. You eat when some species eat when they find food.
Yeah.
Our bodies are meant to go probably longer than we realize without food, but we don't do it because it's so readily available. Just think about, I'll go back 40 years, when I was just getting out of high school. God, I can't believe I just said that. I'll go back 40 years when I was just getting out of high school. There was not even half the amount of fast food places around here than there is now. Now you can't swing a dead animal without hitting a fast food place.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Wendy's is not even a quarter mile down the road here. And then if I go a mile, we call it fast food alleys. Everything except Chick-fil-A, but almost within a 3-mile radius of my house, I can get to every fast food franchise they have except In-N-Out Burger, Hardee's. We don't have here. But we have the Wawa.
Very hard about this, John.
What's that?
You've thought very hard about this, John.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
You are a Google map for where the fast food is.
Yeah, it's so close. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And there's 5 Dunkin' Donuts within a 3-mile, 5 or 6.
Wow.
There's that many around here. Now, and that says a large coffee with heavy cream in the morning can keep her going until 5 or 6 at night. What do we use? We use half and half. I never really tried putting heavy cream in a drink.
I drank it once as a kid at a party
Uh-huh.
because I thought it was milk. And ever since, heavy cream just gives me that like...
kind of, it's like puts a sweater on your tongue.
Yeah. So even when I tasted it in milk, I'm still like, I really like it. I enjoy it, but I feel like it's so decadent at this point that I'm just like, whoa. Because I also drink my coffee black.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So with me, when I was 14, I used to work in an ice cream parlor. We used to make our own whipped cream. You'd have this big, giant pressurized vessel, and you would pour in 2 whipping creams, 2 heavy creams, some vanilla, and then you would shake it. You would shake it up and you'd pressurize it with, what's that stuff, that laughing gas, nitrous oxide.
Yeah.
And you would pressurize it, shake it like crazy, and then pressurize it. Then you'd put it in the refrigerator for, I forget how many hours. And then you would come back out and you'd shake it up again and then repressurize it. And then it was ready to be whipped cream. And I'm telling you, that would make I can't even imagine how much whipped cream it made. It was like gallons and gallons and gallons of it. So. Oh, that's right. And that says the fat content will keep you satisfied. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't like it at first, but she's coming around to it. Oh, so that's more keto. Oh, I get it now. Yes, because keto is more of a high fat, not as much high protein, low carb, more on the fat. That's right. I forgot about that. Keto, more fat than protein. Like a low carb diet is like high in protein, but not as high in fat. Mm. Where keto is more, there's more of a fat. I'm trying to remember how the micro goes on that. I think I know with the low carb, it was you didn't want more than 30 grams of carb or 20% of your meal to be from carbs. So it would be like 40, 20, 40% protein, 40% fat, 20% carbs. But I don't know if maybe keto is the same thing. I'm not 100% sure. All right, now that we've talked about our weeks, let's do some Winning Wednesdays.
Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday.
All right, so we have Ingrid down another 2.2 pounds, lost just short of 30 pounds. Wow.
That's really good. Wow, that is see, you think it's only 1 pound, 2 pound, and you stream, next thing you know, you're down 30 pounds. That is fantastic. Trina says, for the last 10 days, I've gone anywhere from 14 to 18 hours daily. I guess that's fasting. And I'm down 6 pounds. This might be my time.
Yay! Brenda, I'm on day 2 of my MyFitnessPal tracking. Getting my water in, water Zumba last night. Yeah.
Water Zumba?
Water Zumba.
I guess it's like water aerobics, but you dance in the pool?
I would like that better because I really don't like all the slamming of Zumba, to be honest. And water, if there's some resistance, it's not all the water's resistance. A lot of that's my resistance to doing that, but at least I can blame it on the water. So water Zumba sounds like a lot of fun.
How about that? Teresa says, I'm down a pound, but more importantly, my annual VOO Dude challenge project starts Monday.
So Teresa is our artist friend. She's done a few drawings in the group. Particularly, she drew a snake once with a taco inside of it that made us chuckle. And she does this voodoo challenge every year, counting down to her birthday. She makes these little figurines called voodoods. They're little dudes that look like voodoo dolls with pins sticking out of them. And they're adorable and fun. And she created a whole community around naming them. So go check out Teresa's page. I'll put a link in the show notes. So go check them out.
Did you see the latest one she put in our Facebook group where it's two snakes talking to each other, and the one snake says, "How you doing on your diet?" It says, "Yeah, I'm doing jogging and broccoli," and there's a jogger inside the snake. You can see the outline of a jogger and a piece of broccoli.
Goodness.
Yes, outstanding. Love her stuff.
Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness. Teresa, you're amazing. Thank you. How's the healthy eating going? Pretty good. I've been sticking to broccoli and joggers. Okay. Carolyn gained 2 pounds. That's okay.
Yeah, it happens. It could be Shark Week, right?
Well, I don't
know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We don't know.
It's not a big
don't know.
it's not
No
a big
idea.
deal. Just keep at it. We're giving you a doot anyhow.
You're aware of it. You're coming back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we know that next week you'll be posting in the Winning Wednesdays with a win.
There we go.
Yeah.
Joanna says, "Hi there. I love listening to the podcast and I'm almost caught up. I've been doing the intermittent fasting for a week, watching my carbs, and I'm down 3.
Oh, yay. That's great. Annette is back on track again after gaining a couple of pounds over the festive season. More importantly, lost a total of 36 pounds during 2019, prompted mainly by the realization that stuff can happen to me after Lisa's birthday surprise. And this is Lisa from I Shake My Head with Lisa and Sam.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Lisa had a birthday, and they went to Ontario to visit Lisa's sister, and then Lisa had a heart attack. So at 50 years old. So yes. And even Lisa's in here saying, "Way to go. You're doing amazing." And you didn't even have to have a heart attack like I did. So there you go.
I love the support in our group. I really do.
Absolutely. Mary Jo, tracking my food with my Fitness Pal and drinking tons of water.
Yay! And she's down 3 pounds too.
Didn't I say that?
No.
I'm horrible.
No, you're
I'm
not.
a horrible reader. Sometimes I leave some of these in the show. Sometimes I don't take them out.
Patricia didn't lose, but didn't gain either. I'll take it. Yeah,
That's
that was our
right.
victory last week.
That's how I felt after 3 weeks of not being on a scale.
I know, really.
And finally, Becky says, "I've stayed even through the holidays and finished 2019 17 pounds lighter than I started the year with. Woohoo!
Wow.
Been to the gym 3 times since the new year and now back to cutting out the carbs." There we go.
I'm so glad to hear that people are taking stock of their victories from 2019. So
Yeah.
many people look back on their failures and that's all they focus on.
Right. Like you could have been, let's say you've been fighting it back and forth and all, but then when you look back and say, okay, well, at least I'm down 25 pounds from last year.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Mhm.
You do that again next year. I mean, right?
It does add up. That's what we've seen on this show with our weigh-ins.
Yes.
All these tiny little ups and downs. As long as the downs outweigh, pun intended, the ups, then we've been good.
I think so. I agree with that. All right, here we go.
Let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time for the weigh-in.
All right. What episode's 81? Okay. So odd numbered episode means I go first. I'm down 2 pounds this week.
Look at you.
Yeah. Pretty happy about that. And it was really just being intentional and making sure that I don't fall into the same trap of mindless eating that can get me sometimes. And also trying not to eat when I get emotional, but still kind of being confused about like, what do I do? Let's just go to bed instead. Like,
Yeah, the other day I had the same thing. I was like upset or mad or I forget what it was or just angry. And said, you know what? I'm not even hungry. And that's usually, it was the first time in a long time that I can remember that I had those emotions and I didn't want to go to food to kind of quelch it. So I think that's a great thing for you.
I feel like we've really worked on our triggers a lot.
Yeah.
Because we have to talk about them every week and we get to examine them. And I think we're very lucky to be able to do that.
So for me, I'm up 3 pounds.
Okay.
Wah, wah, wah.
Womp, 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 womp.
I honestly do think it's fluid because, as I examine the week, there's 2 times I didn't take the pill, and I do feel really bloated. And I know that if I take that, I've taken that pill before and lost 7 or 8 pounds in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to take the pill this morning and try to lose 7 or 8 pounds during the show.
Yeah.
After we get done here, I just think it's whatever. I can feel it. I feel puffy.
Mm-hmm.
But, so I'll take the pill. And I think, like I said, I think I was flat last week and I really have had a pretty good week. So I just think it's probably water retention. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not going to lie. So I'm up 3. So what can you do? I think that, living and dying by the scale is bad. It's what we use for measurement, but I don't think is always the best way to use it. Just like I said, especially for someone of my size, like I said, I can go up and down 10 pounds like nobody's business.
Yeah, but we also talked about a lot of scale or non-scale victories this week. So,
yes.
Again, that's
trying to cook more and
trying to cook more,
not eat out as much.
Not as much emotional eating.
Yes.
Being aware of the emotional eating and the triggers. Yeah.
Look at all these.
I'll take it.
Annette Inspirations. Look at all these. She says, "Don't let a bad number spoil your good week." Look at that. Hey, don't let
Annette Inspirations.
One bad number won't spoil the whole week. What was that song? Who did that? One bad. Oh, that was the Osmonds. Remember the Osmonds? No, this was way before you were even born. One bad apple. You ever heard the song?
I know the song, but yeah, I wouldn't know the reference as much. I wouldn't be able to guess it was the Osmonds who sang it.
Yeah, that's who sang it. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you being here, and you can join us in the Facebook group and see all the great memes and Teresa's fantastic artwork
and meet Annette and her wonderful inspiration for everyone.
Absolutely. And you can go to hate28.com/Facebook and sign up. We got a couple members in this week. A couple new members.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome. And we'll be back here next week. Oh, and if you want to check out all the show notes and everything we've talked about, Emily does a great job of putting all the links in there so you can find them on your podcast player of choice. Or if not, go to hate28.com. Right? All right, we will be back next week with hopefully better numbers for John, and we'll see what happens.
All right, later, waiters.